So I've been seeing a ton of questions recently on supplements that burn fat. Are there supplements that burn fat? Yeah, there definitely are. There definitely are. Do you need them? No, you don't need them. But if you're somebody who's always looking for an edge, there are definitely things that have shown through numerous studies to be effective. So I'm not going to waste a ton of time here. I'm going to jump right in. And in the comments, I'm going to leave information on the different studies without boring the snot out of you guys in this video, because it can get pretty dense, right? The information gets pretty dense. And I'm going to keep it real simple with regard to the science. And I encourage you to do more research on everything I'm telling you if you are in fact interested beyond the top line points. So this one's going to probably catch you by surprise, something that I think you won't expect. Omega-3s, in particular DHA and EPA, have been shown to affect our genetic expression in a way that helps us burn more fat, that amps up our fat metabolism. So I said this a lot, right? Genes are not static, they're dynamic, which means we affect the way our genes express themselves by how we live, what we eat, lifestyle habits, how much we sleep, and all of the above. All of the aforementioned. There's nothing above me. Okay, so if you are going to supplement omega-3s, personally for me, I've talked about this, I take krill oil. It doesn't spoil as easily as fish oil. You don't have to worry about mercury in those big predatory fish. Krill oil is fantastic. Love it. Take krill oil, and it has a host of other health benefits, so why not? Unless you're getting a ton of like sardines and anchovies and wild-caught salmon, I mean, why the heck not? It's great for you. Great for your heart, great for your cognitive function, and has been shown to affect our genes that enhance fat metabolism. Okay, next one, capsinoids. Not just capsaicin, but capsinoids from different types of peppers. Has been shown to not only decrease appetite, to help mobilize our good fat, which is called brown fat. And our brown fat, right, this is why cold temperatures are also a good thing for fat metabolism, because it helps to activate our brown fat. Our brown fat, that good fat, helps to burn off the bad fat, the visceral fat, fat between the organs, the ectopic fat, the fat in the organs, right? Bad news. So, capsinoids. Now, I have left a suggestion for a capsinoid product in the comments. I am not an investor. I have no affiliation, but I personally use that product when I'm making a pre-workout. So if you're at all curious, check it out in the comments. Like I said, not being paid, no affiliation with the company. Do your own homework on a capsinoid product. And also, capsinoids help the body release more epinephrine, which is what is activating, which is increasing our calorie burn and activating that brown fat. Now, speaking of brown fat, another one is green tea extract. Now, I'm sure you've heard this before. We all know that there's caffeine in green tea, not a ton. Caffeine is a major, excellent athletic performance aid, which helps to burn more fat. I use it before I train religiously. No more than 400 milligrams a day. Take it about 45 minutes before you train, but that's not actually the premier benefit of green tea. It's the catechins in the green tea, in particular one called EGCG. I always screw that up. That is helpful in fat oxidation, utilizing our fat stores, right, for energy, mobilizing them, and activating brown fat, getting that brown fat to be more thermogenic. Okay, what am I missing? Next one would be L-carnitine. Now, L-carnitine is something that the body produces endogenously, meaning you're thinking like, well, if my body makes it, why do I have to supplement it? You don't have to do any of this. There are a lot of studies that show it does help fat metabolism, in particular when exercising. It does help when the body is also at rest, but in particular when we train, it spares glycogen stores and utilizes more fat for energy when we exercise. So the science is there to suggest that it can be extremely beneficial, and it's one of the necessary components to help mobilize our fat stores and utilize them for energy, right? Okay, so we can become deficient in L-carnitine if we're engaging in high-intensity exercise regularly. If you have nutrient deficiencies in things like lysine or even vitamin C or iron, highly unlikely you're deficient in L-carnitine. But if you're looking for a little extra edge, it's been shown to be super effective. I take it, again, as a pre-workout. Like, so I put together my own stuff for pre-workouts with the green tea, the capsinoids, and this is just another one that goes in my pre-workout, the L-carnitine. All right, here's one, last one that I think you guys are probably going to be surprised by. And it's potentially a bit of a reach, but it would be a symbiotic. And a symbiotic is a probiotic, beneficial bacteria, microbes, right, that live in our gut, with a prebiotic, which is food for probiotics. So they call it, the industry, the supplement industry calls it a symbiotic. And okay, now we've talked a lot about microbiome before, right? All those microbes in your gut and what they do. And we know, again, that a healthy microbiome is overwhelmingly important for, I mean, everything from gut lining and digestion, which would seem obvious, right, to immunity, healthier hair, skin, and nails, better cognitive function, longer lifespan. I mean, it's pretty significant. I personally think that understanding the microbiome is going to hold the key to unlocking so many different components of fighting disease, living longer, living better, and on and on and on. With that said, you can get your probiotics from three main sources. And again, I have talked about this, but I'll recap real quick. Number one is your food, fermented foods. Kefir, kimchi, miso. Number two is soil-based strains. So back in the day when we used to pull a carrot from the ground or we washed food in well water, we would get strains from the outdoors, right? And that's a great thing. I would say go to a farmer's market. Make sure that there's no pesticides, herbicides, fungicides on the food. Go for a hike, get outside, and you'll get those spores. And those spores are actually not ideal when taken through supplements because they're germinated ideally when we chew them. So you can get those, the food-based strains, without supplementing. You can, things like acidophilus, it's cheap, man, and they charge you a fortune and make all these claims about gazillions of CFUs, and it's baloney. You don't need to take acidophilus. Have a scoop of yogurt, have a swig of kefir. Get outside for a hike, go to a farmer's market and get food that's organic, rinse it off and eat it, okay? What I do supplement are human resident strains of bacteria because those are pretty darn hard to get. Those are the ones that we get from our mom, right? In the womb, going through the birth canal, breastfeeding. Those things get depleted through, many different things, but we'll say one Z-pack will do some serious damage. So I take human resident strain probiotics. I take Align Naturals. I did invest in that company. Do your own homework, right? Okay, why does this benefit you with regard to fat loss? Well, first of all, we have seen in numerous studies that our microbiome impacts our hormone response to food. Insulin is a perfect example. Our insulin response to food is impacted negatively when our microbiome suffers and positively when our microbiome is healthy. There was a great study about two identical twins, and they both had vastly divergent insulin responses to food, and they have identical genetics. So the obvious component was differences in their microbiome. Another element of this is it enhances, right, when your microbiome is strong, it enhances your nutrient absorption. And I just talked a little bit about how nutrient deficiencies with things like L-carnitine can impact your metabolism, but it's not that in particular, it's across the board. We want to make sure that we're fully absorbing the nutrients in our food, not just for our metabolism, of course, but for our overall health. And a healthy, strong microbiome improves that. And there's something called postbiotics, or short chain fatty acids. And this is the byproduct of when probiotics consume prebiotics, you get postbiotics. You don't need to supplement postbiotics, by the way. That's, we'll say, not necessary. I'll call it a marketing ploy, in my opinion, only because if you got prebiotics and you got probiotics, they make postbiotics. But it's these postbiotics that have also been shown in numerous studies to help with fat oxidation. So quick recap, krill oil, symbiotic, capsinoids, green tea extract, and L-carnitine. I'll leave studies in the comments for you, and I encourage you to do more homework on it if you're so inclined. Okay, team, don't forget, I created this channel just for you guys. So click like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear more about. If it's diet, fitness, wellness, mindfulness, I'm here for you. So give me your feedback.